Hope you're having a great day. I am not all the way awake. I am here. Well, I'll tell you more about that in a little bit. Hi Trey, are you here?
You best believe it.
That's awesome to hear. That is vainglorious. And yeah. So hey, give me some beats.
You ready for some beats?
No, not really.
Okay. Well, we'll do something.
Okay, I gotta share this someday, and only if I can't run away. I feel it all. Now I'm sitting back and waiting down the hall, looking like a silly dude. Nobody hear the call. Then they want me to understand where I come from. Beat drum, bass drum. Now I gotta feel it, son. Ooh. Where do I come from? And if I never beat it down, but now I'm feeling the one, the two, the three, the mic, and the four. I'm sitting here looking like Styles galore, and now I can't break it. Now you know what I be. They call me Scout the Psalm, yes, Jason Riley. Gotta make what I was doing only if I can't. Pursue now you're waiting for your people like, yeah. Now I can't pretend like I get it. Gone, did you really know what I'm doing? I'm writing songs, overwhelmed anyway. What am I doing today? Looking back, cause I know what I gotta say. Hey, now I'm feeling it real. I'm trying to press the button for real. I never chill, only if I can make it down. Looking at myself right now, and I don't even see what they say. I hope it's the right one today. I don't know where I'm coming from. What am I saying, do? If I never get it through now. Yeah, what could I say to do? At least I shared it the right place. Not this time the wrong. Looking back at my face now. Guess I gotta overcome. Okay.
It's like he's probably doing something completely different right now. All right, let's get it.
Are you looking for a different kind of podcast? How about informative and clean? It will make you laugh. Scout and Trey, yeah, that's what we do. We got a little funny thing, keeping it true. Hey, we take your topics and all your ideas and bring in a guest and we answer them there. Then we make a freestyle rap and do it for you. Yeah, that's what we do. Yeah, that's what we do. Yep, flows for you, flows for you. This is what we do now. This is what we do. Say it flows for you, flows for you. This is what we do now. This is what we do. Say it flows for you, flows for you. This is what we do now. This is what we do. Say it flows for you, flows for you.
Well, hello guys, and welcome to the show. I'm actually here now, not looking like a crazy person, feeling like a crazy person, but not one. So
Jason's
there you
had to
go.
fight his headphones for the past 2 weeks, so
Well, it's more than that. I'll tell you more in a second. And oh, hey, remember we have the button. So before we do it, make sure we press the button. Let me get ready.
okay.
Um, all right. So, what is your headline of the week? Headline of the week. Trey, you're not going to do any voice?
No, you did it for me.
Okay.
It's okay. Yeah, I would say. Jason, you go first. I have to come up with something a little better.
Okay. I've been a zombie all week.
Okay. Nyree, you can go next.
Right, I almost froze to death.
Oh, she's gonna take the cake. Mine's not gonna be as good. I don't even know, man. I got fitted.
Okay.
That's the highlight of my week. I got fitted. Go ahead, Jason.
Cool. So as you know, last week I had a little fall. Well, I ended up actually fracturing my shoulder.
Yo, what?
And so I've like you see me with no sling on right now. It's just for effects, but and because I have my hand stabilized on the mouse. So, but I've literally been drugged up all week. Sleep medication and lots of ibuprofen and Tylenol, and I feel like I haven't got. I mean, I had to cancel.
So you may or may not be all there today.
I am not all there. I canceled all my shows.
Oh no!
We had South by Southwest this week, and I canceled the show to drop that because then I had another show I was supposed to do, and I just couldn't. I mean, I literally just couldn't be effective at all. I mean, and I'm sorry when you freestyle to kids. It's definitely not good to have drugs in your system.
We don't make mistakes. We have happy accidents.
That would be very terrible, and they have recorded proof. So if I say something insane, I would get in lots of trouble. So decided that
Oh, man.
for my business, I should probably not do anything. And then my wife wasn't gonna let me leave the house anyways. If I tried to like walk out with my boombox and my stuff, she'd be like, "No, I don't think so, fool. Get back in here."
It wasn't
So,
gonna work.
Yeah, she stayed home actually, just because I can't even change my kid's diaper. So it's
Wow.
like I can pick her up with one hand, but my wife, like, that's all I can do. And so
I'm
it's
sorry,
pretty,
man.
It's my fault. I know better than to dive at the ground with my full shoulder at a 20-year-old kid playing soccer. I know better. I'm a
Yeah.
40-year-old man. I know that that's not something you do.
Hey, man.
And in my head, I was like, 20-year-old Jason used to do this, and he was awesome.
I tried to, give you the benefit of the doubt, but you kind of threw yourself under the bus, or a 20-year-old child.
Yeah, no,
I loved how you said 20-year-old kid. I'm like, he's basically an adult. Like, but I get it. Like, all right, now you're up next.
Okay, so a bit of an exaggeration, obviously, but it was our honeymoon, and because we're in South Australia, and all the borders were locked. We can't go anywhere, so we went to Kangaroo Island for our honeymoon, and that is south of our state, and it is quite a bit colder than Adelaide. And we're like, well, make the best of it. Let's do some swimming with dolphins and seals.
Ooh.
And so we went on the boat, and it was a nice day a few days before, and we didn't check the temperature, and it was like an 18-degree day this Friday. 18-degree Celsius.
Right. Oh, that's right.
Celsius. So don't panic. It's not that cold.
I was about to say,
not that silly. So we're in our wetsuits and everything, and what they do is they get you to jump into the water and hold onto a rope at the back of the boat, and they sort of drag you slowly through the water so that you don't scare the dolphins and drive the boat up into them, and the dolphins come and swim under you. And we're like, this sounds awesome, let's do it. And so it was 18-degree day, it was cloudy, and the water, this is like open ocean, so it was very cold even with the wetsuit.
That's also terrifying.
Yeah. It wasn't that far offshore, but it was like still like 50 meters deep, I guess.
Right.
Not very pleasant. For me, it was a bit scary. And so we could see the dolphins, and they don't approach us. So they're like, okay, let's try for the seals. And so we have to get out of the water back onto the boat, and which is a speedboat. So of course it's cold, like the wind factor. Very cold there. And so we're freezing, and then they're like, okay, get in the water, we're going to try for the seals. So we get in the water, and the seals, they have decided it is too cold to get into the water, because when they're resting, they only really get into the water when they need to cool down, and it was too cold to get in the water. They didn't need to cool down. So we're like, okay, no seals. We're like trying to get them to come out, and
so
they
you basically
just
got
splash
in the
water.
water just to get in the water.
Just to get in the water, we're like trying to stalk. We're like, this is murder. But we're trying our best and enjoying it. And you have to jump off the boat too. You can't just use a ladder. And then we got back on the boat, and they're like, let's try for the dolphins one more time. And so we get back in the water, and all the people on the boat who aren't participating in this are like, oh my God, you're insane. And by the end of this, there are only 4 of us trying again. There were like 10 at the start. They've all given up. So we get back in, still no dolphins. We could see them, but they were asleep. That's like, oh my God, they're just like drifting and asleep. So they're like, we can't wake them up, so get back on the boat, we'll give you a partial refund. And so for the rest of the day, it was just like us trying to defrost ourselves in the bath. It was like hypothermia time, basically. Like, we're actually concerned about our bodies by that point. Like, even with the wetsuit, we're dying. Like, we were cold for the rest of the day. It was
that's terrible.
Yeah, but we tried, and it was an experience. But that was our honeymoon.
I'm so sorry.
Our honeymoon experience. That's all right. We'll try again another time. Maybe in the summer, we'll try to go back.
Yeah. Aren't seals aggressive? Like, did they not bother you? Like,
no, these seals aren't. They are very happy because they've been out swimming for 3 days solid, and they're tired, so they come back to rest, and they're only getting in to cool down, and they like to come and play. They're not being bribed or anything. They're just coming over to be curious. So it's quite nice. But we did get to meet some monkeys and some serval cats at the zoo that they have in Kangaroo Island. So that was great. We got to get in the cage and have them jump all over us. I was so happy.
I heard some people keep those as pets, servals.
Yeah, I've heard that.
It's rare, but
yeah, not here, but I've heard of it.
Well, cool. That's super cool. So for my highlight, let's see. So I got fitted. It's not really much of a story. There wasn't anything really all that exciting this time around, but I went into the mall. I was here, a better title. I was the last to get fitted there. I am one of the best men. I am the best man at one of my friends' weddings.
You're the best man I know.
Oh, wow. I appreciate that, Jason.
To be a man.
He's getting married in April. His ceremony's in April, and so I had to get fitted for the suit. And apparently mine's a little bit different than everybody else's. But I still was the last to get fitted. I'm still way over time. Like I wasn't cutting the deadline or anything. They just wanted to make sure that I got in and got out and got it taken care of. But it was pretty painless. There was a couple of interesting things going on inside the store. One guy apparently got a completely wrong suit. He had his suit completely switched out with somebody else's. Another guy had his suit in, but he was trying to he for some reason he came out of the fitting room, but they knew that he hadn't tried it on. So he's like in a hurry and he has to go and stuff. And it was for prom that weekend. And so he had to go, but they wanted him to try it on because if it doesn't fit, they need to fix it. Wow. So, that just kind of, it was just kind of funny watching him walk out. And he's like, I gotta leave. I gotta go. He still had to pay for his suit too, which was another funny thing. He hadn't paid for his suit. And so then he had to walk back in, come out, pay for it. It was just a whole scenario. While I was in the mall, I got a nice new pair of shoes, which was pretty cool. And that's the highlight of my week. So, boom.
Bam.
That's it.
There you go. Do you have something special for us, Trey?
I do, and I hope you guys are prepared because it's that time.
Time for a quiz.
All right, pop it off. Awesome. So I hope you guys are both prepared and ready. I know Jason is because I sent him an email prepping him for the quiz. I didn't give him any answers. Oh, wait, I sent you one too. Did you not get it?
No.
Oh, I'm totally kidding. I didn't send anything out.
If you did receive it, it would be the first time that anyone's ever received these preps that he sends people.
Totally
For
joking.
100 episodes.
Never sent anything. Anyway, so the quiz is actually over exotic pets. So I know Nyree will be a little bit more in tune than Jason is. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. But so yeah, you guys will both get a chance to answer all of the questions. But whoever has the most at the end will win. And first up, Nyree, you're first. Okay. And this is multiple choice, so it'll be a little bit of a, I'll help you guys out a little bit. These animals live in the rainforests of Central and South America. They are also called honey bears because they love honey, which they slurp with their very long tongues. But for the most part, they eat fruit. What is this animal? It's an exotic. Some people keep them as exotic pets. Is it an A?
Really?
Yeah.
I know what it is without you even telling me what it is.
Is it an A, an lemur, B, a kinkajou, C, a sugar glider, or D, an aardvark? Nyree?
Kinkajou?
That's a good answer.
I don't
Jason?
know.
It is B, Pikachu from one of my son's favorite movies, Vivo, that I've seen 1,000 times. So it is B, Pikachu.
Wow.
Well, congratulations. You both got it right.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's a kinkajou. They're not encouraged to keep as pets because there's a lot of maintenance and upkeep with them. But yeah, some people keep them as exotic pets. And for anybody who does not know what a kinkajou is, I don't have a picture for you right now, but they look pretty wild. They look like kind of a cross between a lemur and a, what would you say? Like a lemur and a cat. Sure, we'll go with that.
And they're great rappers.
They're great. Okay, according to Jason.
You can go to Netflix and look at Vivo. There's a picture of them right there. That's what they look like, and they sound like Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Man,
so.
easy for you to say, Jason. Chili Willis hopped in. I think always unbreakable. I think he was talking about your
me.
falling, right? And then Andrew Mabry's hopping in. What's up, man? He said he guessed A. What was the answer? We already know now. So awesome, Jason. Next question is you have the first dibs on the next question. As seen on Friends, people sometimes keep these as pets or even as substitute children. They're cute, small, and intelligent, but aren't the best animals for your home. They can carry diseases. That's not it. They can carry diseases that they can transmit to people through bites and scratches. Is it A, giraffe, B, a tapir, C, gorillas, or D, a capuchin monkey?
Okay, it's a D, capuchin monkey, as in outbreak. He's got a tertiary girl.
Okay, Jason could be cheating. We're not sure, folks. I'll have to ask him after the show. Nyree, same question. Would you like me to repeat the answers?
Is the capuchin monkey.
Phenomenal, you guys.
I wasn't a huge Friends fan, but I remember the monkey. It could have been a lobster, but no.
Andrew's saying B. It is not B. It's the capuchin monkey. You guys both got it correct. Phenomenal. You guys are killing the quiz so far. I don't know why Jason's getting these all right so far. He's supposed to be getting 0 right. All right, Nyree. Like other exotic pets, these critters normally live in large social groups in Africa. And the absence of that group in a human home deeply affects the animals. This could show up in behavioral problems like pacing, over grooming, head bobbing, or even self-mutilation. Also, since these animals are natural diggers, they can ruin household carpets and floors. So, is it A, an African pygmy mouse?
Sounds just like a parrot.
Is it B, meerkats? Is it C, ferrets? Or is it D, water buffaloes?
Well, it's not ferrets because they don't live in Africa. So I would have to say it's meerkats because that would be an awesome pet, but they do live in groups. So
that is also true, but African pygmy mice also live in Africa.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, yes.
But hey, it's okay.
I'm trying to think of good pets, and I'd love a meerkat if I could, but, you know.
Jason, I gave her kind of a hint.
I don't care if it's right or wrong, but I need this visual image is what makes me wake up in the morning is a buffalo, just a water buffalo.
A water buffalo?
Chilling in somebody's living room, tearing up his carpet. Like a baby water buffalo. Like he's like a little tiny, like a pygmy one. He's like, hello, look at my water buffalo.
I wouldn't mind keeping a water buffalo. Those horns might get me, though. Yeah. Well, sadly, Jason is incorrect. Nyree got it correct. It's meerkats. She's 3 for 3 so far.
Mice?
He was trying to throw me off, Nyree. That was what was happening.
That was the whole goal.
It sounded legit, so it could have been.
Jason's on a roll, so I have to kind of put a little stint in that role. Jason, as the largest rodent on Earth, these animals are pretty big. That is, I'm not a rodent. So they're pretty big. They reach up to 140 pounds. They're semi-aquatic and need their own pool in addition to outdoor roaming space. All right, look, I'm going to deduct a point here in a second. You keep cutting me off. They may ruin your furniture and carpet if kept inside. Also, they can run away really fast, so keep that in mind. Jason, I'm not going to give you multiple choice. You have to guess for yourself.
Well, I'm going to just go with what our amazing guests have to say. I'm going to go with cats.
Okay, what's up,
That's what Jaime says. He says cats, and I say cats. Whatever, it doesn't matter if it's right or wrong. Jaime's right always because he's amazing.
Now here, listen,
fan
folks. I try to help Jason out, but since I run the quiz, he kept cutting me off. So I was gonna help him, at the end, but this time he actually negatively affected his score. So he didn't even get to know that the fact that cats aren't even an option. So Nyree, also for you, same question. Is it A, raccoons, B, badgers, C, capybara, or D, guinea pigs?
Well, it'd be the capybara.
That's correct. Congratulations. It's a capybara. See, Jason, you would have gotten it correct. I think you would have gotten that, but I'm sorry, man.
I was trying to remember what it was called. I was like, is it a gootie? No, that's a different thing.
I mean,
a what?
Capybara,
a gootie.
Trey's feet, Sound the same to me.
Interesting. You said what, Jason?
Capybara, Trey's feet, all the same to
Good
me.
one. Good question. Good one. Good one. We all laughed. So, so this is actually the final question, and this is the end of our quiz. Whoever gets this one takes home the mansion and the yacht.
Mm.
Out of these exotic pets, which is my favorite? And Nyree, you get to answer first. Is it A, a tiger shark, B, a New Caledonia giant gecko, C, an octopus, or D, a tegu?
Octopus?
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay. Jason?
No idea.
Trey's feet.
Jason answered Trey's feet. Sadly, that's not an option. Nyree, I really liked B,
Which was what again?
the New Caledonia giant gecko. That's what you said, right? You said B?
Yes.
Congratulations, you win the quiz. So you get a virtual high five in the mail. It should be shipping within 5 to 10 business days. Well, you're in Australia. I can't guarantee when it's going to actually get there.
Could take a while.
It could take a while, but congratulations, you won the quiz. Speaking of exotic pets, Jason, why is Nyree on the show today?
Your other guests look much better than me.
You there, Jason?
Well, when I asked her, this is a weird transition. Anyways, when I asked her what we could do for a better year, she actually said, find your values and work towards your goals. That was a very short version of her answer. But she also has a podcast about exotic pets, is what Trey was trying to transition to, but it wouldn't work since it had nothing to do with that. So that was weird. It was like he was calling her an exotic pet, which was weird. But anyways.
Now Jason's making it weird because he's making things up.
But yes, when I asked her, she said, hey, find your values and work towards your goals. Why do you think finding our values and working towards our goals can make for a better year, Nyree?
Because it means that you're not wasting your time in your life, I guess, if you know what you're wanting, or else you're just sort of living through your life on autopilot, which means at the end of the year, you kind of like, did I do what I wanted to do this year? No, I didn't, because I didn't even think about it. So it might have happened automatically, but by chance, but it's unlikely that you would have met any of your goals and therefore felt successful and fulfilled. Yeah. So that's quite important to me.
Yeah, it was funny. It's like, especially with the last 2 weeks of medicine in my system, or a week of medicine in my system, it definitely drops all your goals and ambitions. You just want to make it for the next day.
Sleep.
So I'm like, let me just sleep, or I'll wake up at like 4 a.m. and I'll be like, all right, let me do something productive. And then it's like, it's 4 a.m. What are you gonna do productive, dude?
Play video games.
So yeah, and that's what I do. But no, I think it's interesting. Do you ever feel like your values or your goals can kind of get switched out through the year, and that kind of messes it up? Does that happen at all?
Yeah, they get switched, but I don't think it messes it up. I mean, why on earth should you stick to one set of values if you don't believe in those values anymore? Like, that's silly.
Yeah. That makes sense.
So, and life circumstances change. Like maybe you suddenly, I don't know, you get pregnant, so you suddenly have new values, or you find your partner, so now you have different values than you did as a single person. So
I'm ready to
or
find
your parents are aging and you suddenly realize that. I don't know.
Or you go on a diet.
Yeah. Yum.
Like Trey has.
Yeah.
I literally have.
That's very cool. I think that's important. I think I'm very ADD, and so goals and stuff can get in the way sometimes. I can kind of get unfocused on them and not get a lot done. What are some
Write
steps
them down.
What are some steps that you do to keep yourself on track?
I have notebooks upon notebooks, and I am constantly rewriting what my goals are because I find that writing gets it into my brain, and talking it through with people also gets it into my brain. So just thinking about it, I forget. So I literally have a notebook with goals at the front and sort of bucket list things at the back. And I'm constantly checking through it and like, I'm bored this weekend. I'll go and look at my bucket list and see if there's anything I can do for that. And goals are more small things that aim towards my values. So
now, are you the kind of person that adds pets? Like
adds them?
Yeah, like you have like 100 pets and then you're like, you add a new one every day.
No, unfortunately. I sort of wish I could.
50 cat lady.
Yeah.
No, I've got 3 ferrets and I do want to add another one because one passed away last year, but we are holding off, and we added a dog 18 months ago. But that seems to be it.
Okay.
Which is good. I don't want to go too crazy.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. Was like, if you're the kind of person that likes to add pets or anything like that, does that get in your way? Like a good example is like my son. He loves toys, and so he has a new chore chart that he allows gets money for things. But he wants my son's also very focused, so he wants every variation of Spider-Man that exists in his action figures. The problem is he's starting to already lose them, and so it's like at some point he's not going to know where half of them are anyways. And so it's like, what's the point of having a big collection if you don't know where they are?
Because his values are clearly acquisition rather than keeping.
I don't think telling him that his values are acquisition is going to help.
No, but no,
Yeah.
it wouldn't as a 4-year-old. But that's the cool thing for him to get something new. So yeah, something new to do with his interest. He gets to play with it for a while, and then he gets another new one later, and that's perfectly normal. I work with children as well, so I'm like, oh, children.
Well, it's the same idea. Like last month, it was lightsabers. If you look behind me, you'll see all the lightsabers that we have collected.
Oh, that's awesome.
Jason's mic looked like it. I mean, his mic even looks like a lightsaber. So
I thought those were computer podcasting things. So couldn't tell.
Man, that's awesome. Trey, it's like I have like sweet lightsaber microphones. Just like switch them out.
That would be phenomenal.
You
had LEDs on them. Some mics come with that.
Dude, why aren't there lightsaber casing for mics?
There probably is. Sounds like a Shark Tank idea.
It sounds like sounds like our new store.
We'd have to go through so many copyrights even to do that.
No, we just have to look. It just has to look like it. It doesn't need to be it. So,
they can be phaser swords instead of lightsabers.
That's right.
Nyree, I had.
Yes.
Go ahead, Jason.
No, I wasn't gonna say anything smart, so you're good.
Nyree, I had a question for you, but before I ask that question, Jaime's saying a new what? It's a new Caledonia giant gecko. It's like a Leachianus gecko, the ones that I was talking about earlier to you.
I have to look that up. Have you seen them? You've seen them?
Yes, I love them so much. I have never held one. I love geckos. They're one of my favorite creatures on the planet. I have a crested gecko downstairs.
Oh,
an eyelash crested
on
gecko.
that too.
Yeah,
they're amazing.
Did you say Parmesan crested gecko?
Eyelash crested gecko. They're the only gecko species that don't grow their tail back when it's dropped.
Okay.
Oh.
Mine still has his, so it's fine. If they don't have it, they look like really weird frogs. It's so funny. But no, yeah, I had a question for you. So as far as goals and stuff, like, and this could be just for you or this could be for anybody, what would you say is a good goal to start with, but also something that is very beneficial and rewarding? Maybe that's a big question, but
it's a big question because it all depends on the person. So for me,
I think you could do it for yourself, or it could be something universal.
Well, things that make your current life happier, I guess. I think that's a good one. So thinking about what would make you feel good in the moment, and so I don't mean like go and do drugs. I mean like things that make you feel happy in the moment. That is like that is good for you.
We don't make mistakes. We have happy accidents.
So yeah, do not do that. I don't do that.
Bob Ross.
So I'm just trying to think of some examples. It could be finding a partner for yourself, or decluttering your house, or getting fit and healthy, or finding a new hobby or a new friend. That's my thing at the moment, which is finding new friends. So,
Perfect.
and the podcast,
Yeah. And I think like doing something for yourself and or honestly, all of those things could fit in that category. Like
you deserve it.
Right. And I think like, I don't know if it's just an American thing or if it's across the board, but we don't tend to take care of ourselves much. We feel like we have this to-do list. We have to go make sure we're, run, go, make sure we have groceries, make sure the bills are paid, make sure, we go to work on time, make sure we're doing our best at work, make sure that X, Y, and Z all the way.
Baseline life, and I don't like that. I don't want that for myself. I want to contribute to something, and I want to enjoy myself, like a shock horror. I know. And so I've had to come to realize that what I enjoy in life isn't what other people enjoy in life, and that is fine. And I shouldn't try and be them. So
perfect. Exactly.
Yeah, it took a long time to work that one out, but like to not work it out, but to come to terms with that is okay. Because I always knew what I liked. It was just struggling with myself. I probably should try going clubbing or something. And no, not me.
It's not your thing.
No, it's not. So, and that's fine.
Okay.
If someone else likes it, that's fine too.
How about going to the club with pets?
I wish. I was so happy yesterday because we went to a family thing and everyone brought their dogs, and I was like, this is the best family get together ever.
Oh, nice.
Hamster party would be amazing.
Yeah.
I've never seen a hamster.
You've never seen a hamster?
You've never seen a hamster?
We don't have them.
Really?
Yeah, or a chinchilla. No, we don't have them.
What?
We've got guinea pigs and rabbits.
Really?
And rats and mice.
My parents, I grew up owning a ton of hamsters. They're not the best pets in the world, but we did breed some of them.
I want to see them.
We did breed some of them, and it was the coolest experience ever because we got to kind of see. Shut up, Jason. Can I talk for once? Jeez.
They weren't those horrible homicidal.
No. Yeah, so there's a lot of horror stories where the mom will get in and just start eating the babies or whatever. That is a thing, and it's crazy.
Yeah.
We got to just see the whole process and like the mom taking care of the babies, and we put like cotton balls inside there so she could like make this whole nest, and we gave her these special foods, and they ended up like, we had to get a couple different cages for them to be in and be around in, and we ended up giving a lot of them away, and we kept one, but it was just a super cool experience. And my parents now have a chinchilla, speaking of which, and they grew up with chinchillas and breeding them too. So they are the softest thing you will ever pet.
I hear that.
That's why they make them out of coats, sadly, but they're super, super soft. But yeah, Jason is falling asleep on us, man. Wake up.
So sorry, guys.
Punch yourself in the face. Come on, wake up.
I can't punch myself in the face. That's as
Come
high
on.
as I can get
Because
my
his
fist.
shoulder is messed
Come
up.
on. Wake up.
I'm sorry. Well, it's because
Use your other arm.
I haven't taken any medication, so now you're dealing with all pain, Jason, now. So, yeah, that's my fault.
Jaime said, if you've done guinea pigs, don't worry about hamsters or whatever other rodents.
Okay.
Go to the one above that, Trey.
Oh, I'm down for that. He said, I'd love a snake and lizard cafe.
I would like that too.
Why? How would that be relaxing, guys? You go get a
That
coffee.
would be the coolest thing ever for.
I'd be like, nah, those dudes are gonna crawl up in my food. I ain't trying to do
No,
it.
just
you
put them
could
in
have
aquariums.
Yeah, you could have like the room lined with terrariums, and
That would
it'll be great.
Oh, how about
Coolest
your
thing
table?
ever.
How if your table is the top of an aquarium, so you're just like,
That could be a thing. Oh, that's perfect.
Well,
Yeah.
the snake is
non-venomous
just trying to
and
eat your food. That'd be
non-venomous,
so scary.
non-venomous and non-aggressive. And I would have to say it might be like a club only thing where people actually treat animals respectively, and they're not going to like bang on the glass. And,
Of course, that's why I think a cafe is safe, but
that would be super cool.
I like that. I'd like to do a ferret one,
That
with big enclosures around that are sealed up so you can't smell them if you have a problem with that smell.
Right.
And like me, and they don't come out, or just in case biting or treading on happens. But
so I think what you could do is like line whatever it is, if it's mammals or reptiles, you could line the cafe with them, or just
Yes.
have one wall of rodents or
Yes.
rodents or reptiles or whatever, and then have one section where someone gets one out. And so like it's a trainer or whatever, and they have it, and someone, you can come up and hold it or whatever in the corner.
Yeah.
And it's away from like the food and stuff like that. I think that, I don't know if that would be like a health hazard or like what, or if there'd have to be a
don't
separate
think
room where
so.
you'd go.
They have cat
The
cafes.
cat cafes exist.
That
Yeah.
seems like a health
Really?
hazard. So
Interesting.
Yeah, it's I've been to one, and they've got the litter trays in the corner, and you sit there drinking your drink. So
do they have like any weird kind of like cafes in Australia where they would have like a cat cafe that's just like?
well, we've got
giant
cat
cats?
cafes, but no giant cats, and I think it's only cat and dog cafes we've got here. But Japan has got some amazing ones, like hedgehogs and
Yep.
otters. I think I'm not sure about
Oh,
the care of those otters, but let's hope it's a
Right.
good one. Let's hope they've
I
got
would-
the space.
I like the idea of a giant teddy bear cafe where just like all the chairs are teddy bears, and like your wait staff are dressed up in teddy bear costumes.
Oh God!
Like just a terrible
Will they be able
nightmare.
to hold the
Yeah.
Hopefully they've got their hands sticking out. Else it's just
I hope
like,
so.
how do you hold the things? But
Jaime said it'd be so cool seeing them. I think he's talking about the
Absolutely.
otters.
Nightmare.
well, yeah,
Nightmare
or
fuel.
any animals.
I've seen a couple different videos around the internet where like people own them, like they own otters. I'm like, I think that would be amazing because they make the coolest like noises ever.
They do.
Their squeaks and stuff.
I think that lots of those are rescue ones. Like they don't just go and own them. Like they live in a place where otters are, so they end up having them because they got babies. I don't know.
Right. I
Isn't
don't know
that
how
the
legal
otter
or legal
place?
that is.
I don't know.
Isn't that over on the Otter place?
The Otter Cafe? Are
No,
you trying to say other?
The Otter place.
The other place, yeah.
You're
it's
the
definitely-
worst. You're the worst. Well, Nyree, I know we're talking a ton about pets, but you have a podcast
I do.
about
Which
pets.
it's about exotic pets. So unfortunately, I'm cutting out cats and dogs from it because they get a lot of attention. So
Sure.
I'm trying to
Who cares?
open it up to other things. So I talk about ferrets mainly, but then some episodes I talk to someone who has a different pet and learn about that because I don't actually know that much about them. I'm not an expert. I'm just an enthusiast. So so sometimes it's ferrets, sometimes it's other pets, sometimes it's a theme. So at the moment it's about grief to do with losing your pet. So that's my current theme. But don't mean to do downer there. But
No. It's real. It's a part of life. What is the coolest, I guess? Do you have people bring their pets on the show, or do you guys just talk about them?
It's just audio, and we share photos.
What's the coolest pet you guys have talked about so far? That's outside of your
we
realm of expertise.
Oh, most of them are.
Okay.
The leopard geckos were very
Yeah.
interesting. Yep. And the leopard and crested geckos, they're two different ones there.
Right.
She had. That was cool. We had ducks and horses and rabbits and birds. So you said you like sun conures. We talked about sun conures.
Yes.
So that was nice. And rats, that was a big one, and snakes. I had a ball python. And I'm only new, so only 30 episodes in, so I feel that's quite
awesome.
a lot of animals. And other ones are coming up. And so any volunteers to talk about their pet, I'm up for it.
I would love to.
That's amazing. How did you even? Well, it's funny. When you were talking about your show and different things, another one of my kids' favorite shows lately is called Back to the Outback, which is about some deadly animals that live in a zoo that are trying to.
That
get back
movie,
home.
yes.
Yeah,
I can't
and
believe you guys watched that. It's
we watched it a minute. My son, it's one of his favorite movies right now, and so
I
yeah,
didn't
it
know
has,
how
like,
popular it'd be overseas.
the funnel web spider, the thorny devil, the
Ooh.
marbled scorpion.
I don't like spiders,
a koala
man.
bear too. But,
And the koala that is like sucked into it as well,
Yeah,
isn't he? They hate him.
yeah, he's terrible.
Too cute.
And my son loves
Spoiled.
it. He's like, he sees a koala bear now, and he's like, oh, it's Pretty Boy. I think that's what they call him. But it's funny because yeah, I imagined the pets would be a little different in Australia, but I didn't imagine it
Yeah, a
to
little.
be close to the same with ferrets and stuff. What got you into this? What got you into this idea for this kind of podcast? I know for us, you know, we both do talent stuff, and I just forced him to do the podcast. So it wasn't like Trey was thinking. I just said, "Hey, you must do this with me now." But what really got you into doing a podcast about exotic pets?
I've wanted to do a podcast for a long time, and I was trying to think of topics that I actually really cared about because I knew that would last longer and I'd be more enthused and it'd be more of a life mission for me to actually share something rather than just going, oh, I'm going to talk about books, which I like books, but they're not going to do as much as ferrets. And then I'm like, well, I'll talk about my ferrets because people, they get a ferret and they don't do any research and they just believe what the pet shop tells them. And then you end up with a lot of abandoned or abused or neglected ferrets, and I care about that. So all of my ferrets are rescues, and they have some pretty bad health issues because of horrible owners. So I want to prevent that. Yeah, their human didn't feed their mother properly, so they all ended up with rickets.
Wow.
Yeah, so their spine is like, it's meant to be a nice curve, and his spine goes whoop, whoop, like a.
Oh my gosh.
It's insane. He's got
That's
big spine in his back.
Now, can ferrets have a cool living experience? Are ferrets like just really big hamsters? Like, can you have like cool like hamster homes?
I don't know because I don't know hamsters.
No. But what I'm saying is like
You can.
Is it like cats where they have like buildings, or do you have like? I mean, can you have a cool environment? What is a cool environment for ferrets? There you go.
Okay.
How does one ferret?
How does one ferret? Well, bending is the key. So my ferrets, they live in a cage when we are unable to supervise them, and they come out and they just roam the whole house. That is their life. So I have to ferret-proof everything, but other than that, they have free range. So as long as it's not something dangerous, like inside the oven, we are all good. Which bit was the great answer?
Probably because I guess there's maybe why you did the podcast. And so
yeah, I want to do something that matters. Yeah, and so they just run around like that. But in our old house, we also had a backyard that was ferret safe, and so we'd let them out there. And my husband made.
I like how
these
you just say
tunnels.
it like everybody knows what ferret safe backyards look like.
Okay, well, a ferret
it was like
safe
Trey earlier where he was like, "Oh yeah, it's just like the Lancashire ones." No one knows what a Lancashire is, Trey.
What's a what?
Okay,
whatever you were talking about your
safe.
lizard thing that you wanted.
New Caledonia.
Yeah, but you had said it's just like
Leachianus.
Yeah,
Leachianus?
I don't know. Nobody know what a Leachianus is.
I mean, I was talking to Jaime specifically, but anyway.
Jaime
As you were saying,
didn't know what
Nyree.
that was.
That's right. So, ferret safe. Then you can come up to my podcast and I can explain all the intricacies of ferret safe. Means that they can't get under the fence, they can't climb over the fence, they can't dig through the fence, they can't climb trees.
Fence. I'm just kidding.
Because, they could probably. Ferrets are so clever they could get through an electric fence, I bet.
Wow.
Nothing poisonous in the backyard. No birds that can come down and eat them. Stairs. It was downstairs because we're up, like in a unit upstairs, and so they could climb the metal stairs, and it was really dangerous if they slipped because they'd fall straight through the holes, like
oh wow,
the backs of the treads of the stairs.
Makes
so we had to block that off, and it was fairly ferret safe once one got through a crack and like was in the neighbor's backyard. It's like, sorry, we're in your backyard, we have to keep that ferret.
How fast are they?
Very fast. Like if they don't want to be caught, you cannot catch them.
And now I know I've talked to you about this before we started the show, but so the scent glands, I had a friend who had ferrets and he reeked of musk, and for me it's just not my thing. And I honestly would love to own ferrets. I would love to own parrots too. But so I know we talked about that. Could you kind of explain a little bit more, like what that
Sure.
what goes into owning a ferret in that regards?
Sure. So my ferrets, I don't feel smell very much, but some people with very sensitive noses come into my house and they're like, oh my gosh, ferret smell. So sometimes it is just your nose and your sense of smell. So before you get a ferret, go to someone's house who has ferrets that are kept cleanly and see if you're okay before you get the ferret, or else it's a bad move. So don't wash your ferrets because that makes it smell worse.
Oh wow.
Yeah, people who have rats might also realize that washing your rat makes them smell worse.
Interesting.
Clean their litter trays and get them desexed, because males that are undersexed, they're called hobs, and they smell a lot when it's breeding season. It's like horrific.
Wait. I keep
Yeah,
hearing
yeah.
you say desexed. You mean just let the ferrets have sex? Wait, I'm so confused what's happening right now.
What?
Neutered?
Oh, that's
Spayed
what
and
desex
neutered.
means. I was confused. I didn't know what it meant. But
You
then she
didn't-
explained
Okay,
it right
well,
now.
here.
And
The
then I
context
was like, oh, they're
clues?
just doing it? I'm confused.
No, well, that's the thing. That's how some people handle the ferret females needing to be spayed. They just let them have sex so that they
Sure.
with a vasectomy male, and
Okay.
then they come out of heat with that. So
Oh.
because it is true that if you don't spay your females, they will get sick. People hear
there you
that, like if they don't have sex,
Wow.
they die. It's not quite that bad, but
Oh my gosh.
yeah. So the males, they get really, really smelly. They're trying to attract females with it, and it's disgusting. And they sort of leak around the house, like oh,
Oh
so gross.
man.
And we call it desexing in Australia because it's gender neutral. Like it can cover both males and female pets.
That would make
easy.
the whole thing he says at on Price is Right totally feel weird when he's like, make sure you get your pets spayed and neutered. He'd be like, make sure you get your pets desexed. Sorry.
Well, that's what we call it here.
That's why I asked you. No, that's why I asked you because I did not know the definition.
Yeah.
So I was
So
just thinking
removing
it was one thing, but it makes
removing the
sense.
sex organs.
Yeah, no.
Yep.
I learned something new today. Look at me learning stuff.
I didn't even know that was like different. Like yeah, we say spay and neuter as well, but I didn't know that was a thing that you guys don't say.
I
It's
never
just
even heard that.
quicker
It's
to
not
say.
common. It's not common. But yeah,
It's got a lot of
desexing
sex
is
in it. That's
I
definitely-
assumed
horrific.
when I
Within
first
a-
heard you say it, I assumed that's what it was. But then when you were explaining the whole other part of it, I was like, wait, no, you were talking about this? Oh no, you were still talking about that. So it makes sense now.
So
they will be a lot less smelly if you desex them, and if you keep their cages clean and their litter trays clean, and then they're definitely not so bad.
what's
At
the
least I
biggest
don't think.
what's the biggest problem you've run into owning ferrets?
Ooh, good question.
Well, the most horrible one was that they get into everything and can get killed. So
Oh,
that's the thing you have to be very, very, very careful with. And unfortunately, everyone makes mistakes with it. And fortunately, and you don't learn. Like people warn you all the time, and we ferret proofed as much as we could, and we just didn't realize one little thing. So now we're even more pedantic. So there's a massive risk of being trodden on, getting into things and getting sat on, getting into machinery and getting crushed. It's very, very dangerous to be a ferret because they get everywhere. They're like, so I guess the biggest problem, like that was the saddest problem. The biggest problem is that they do tend to get into things that they shouldn't. So they have
Very
dug into
curious
our
animals.
mattress. They dug into our mattress because they're like, this looks like a nice hiding hole between the springs. We're like, oh my God, you're going to die. So we had to like lure her out, and then we had to sew it up. And it's
how do you stop them from digging a hole in your
You can't.
mattress?
You can't.
Yeah.
Other than locking them out of the bedroom, which we did.
You say you don't give them a stern scolding and they don't ever do it again?
Well, you can give ferrets timeouts.
Oh my gosh.
But they're so
That's the thing you can do. I definitely need
desperate to do
this.
naughty things. They're so naughty. Like it's the highlight of their life. And so you shut the door, and then they scratch the carpet outside the door, really wanting to get in there. So, oh, for goodness sake. So you have to like make a choice there. And that's why people can't handle them, because they don't look it up and say they expect them to just be easy. And they're not. They're like kittens on like
crack.
Yeah, I was going to say that. I was like, should I say that? Kittens on
no,
drugs.
It's totally fine.
Yeah, they are crazy little critters, and they're adorable, and
But
it's
at
kind
this
of why I
point,
love them.
you're always going to be a ferret mama. That's your.
I
That's
think
your
so. I
life.
think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
It
my
sounds
thing.
like it sounds. My sister had sugar gliders, and it was the same idea.
Oh, so cute.
Once you made a decision on it, and you're like, no, this is what I'm going to do. This is nice, and so I can understand that.
I really actually wanted to own sugar gliders. I've heard mixed reviews. I've heard that, they can get kind of really mean. You have to get them in pairs, which I'm fine with. But I also heard that they make a ton of noise. But do you know anything about sugar gliders, Nyree?
Well, they're actually Australian, so we don't have them as pets. We have them in the wild,
backyard.
and in
So-
zoos.
so
Well,
as-
no,
as
not in the wild,
pests,
not in my backyard,
not
unfortunately.
pests.
No, pets. They're not
No.
pets.
No.
Or
I know. They're neither. Okay. Well, no, I heard
Yeah.
you say. I heard you say pets. I was just making a joke saying they're pests.
Sorry, no, they're
So, like,
not. They're
rats or something.
endangered. So
Are they
they're
really?
yeah. So I actually quite like that they're pets because it means that there are more out there. So hopefully, some in the future can be re-released.
How has
Um,
I know this has been a while, but how has the fires affected Australia,
Crazy, yeah. It's when
especially
we went
with
to
wildlife?
yeah, when we went to Kangaroo Island, you could definitely see it. Like half of the island has been burnt. So
Wow.
they almost lost a few species because they're very isolated little species there. And they were very lucky to find a couple that managed to live in a tiny little pocket of grass that hadn't been burned. It was crazy. They're like capture and release now, capture and breed and release.
Wow. That's so crazy.
Yeah, I did an episode on someone was experiencing the fires with her rescue. But yeah, so many deaths. It was insane, and
It's very
so
sad.
much land lost. And unfortunately, you look at it now, and it's like all the farmland's back, but the forests and things are just destroyed. It takes a very long time to regrow. But luckily for Australia, our trees have prepared for this. They often only regenerate when they get burnt. So they only
Wow.
release their seeds when they are burnt. Because we have so many fires, that's just what they do. And what the Aboriginal people used to do is they'd go around and set fires under trees to make more trees happen. And so it will regrow, but unfortunately we can't get back the animals that have passed,
Yeah.
especially with all the urbanization and things. It's already a big problem. Yeah.
Have you lost any? Has there been any that have gone extinct? I know it's a sad topic, but
Oh yeah. Oh, like lately from the fires. I don't think any got extinct from the fires. Just
Okay.
a few very close calls. Like as
Okay,
in there's
good.
5 left, kind of close
Wow.
calls.
wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
hmm
That's insane.
The little ones that almost no one cares about, but are still very sad.
Right.
Like as in no one knows about them, so they don't care. The little, what was it? Why can't I remember what it's called? It was like a little shrew thing, but it's not a shrew. I'll have
Voles?
to. No.
Damn, so close.
No, I want to Google it now, but no.
Sure.
Oh well, it'll come back. Look
Yeah,
it up.
yeah.
It's Kangaroo
Yeah.
Island,
Sure.
if anyone cares.
Jaime said, "What is the most exotic animal you have been around?" And he's saying
Been
all of us
around.
can answer this.
Oh, most exotic
could've made
animal.
that
Well,
our
for you
question of
guys,
the
that's a
day,
bit
Trey.
different.
Oh, well, I'll tell you what. Go ahead, Jason.
All right. So hey Trey, it's that time.
What time are you talking about, Jason?
It's time for you to tell her that you're her #1 rival with your Exotic Pets podcast that you do.
No.
And that he's been actually we have you on the show because he needs to talk smack to you right now because he's tired of your show. So Trey, go for it.
Damn it.
That is not the time because I don't have an extra podcast. Anyway, I think what he's talking about.
Oh, sorry, I'm not ready, Trey. Nope.
It's time for question of the day.
Awesome. Thank you, Jason. I know it was very grueling and time consuming, and I know that your hands were, all over the keyboard, but
He's one-handed. Come on.
Remember my shoulder arm is controlling the thing,
oh
so I
no,
apologize.
I'm sorry. No, that will be our question today. What is the most exotic animal that you have been around?
Cool.
So that goes for everybody.
All right.
We'll start with you since you actually probably answered Nyree.
Yeah.
So
Me?
Yes.
So me? Okay. Well, it depends what you mean by exotic, because for Australians, this is like in our backyard.
Right.
So exotic for you guys?
We'll give you a pass on if it's not exotic. So you
Okay.
just go
To you.
to you whatever you think is
Exotic to me.
In
Okay.
America, a lot of stuff is not exotic. I mean, or excuse me,
Like, I'd love to see a raccoon. I've never seen a raccoon. I've never seen opossums. Nothing like that. I'd love to. They're very exotic to me. And everyone's like, they're gross and a pest. So,
right.
Yeah. So when I was little, my aunt did a lot of animal rescue, and she had a baby. They're both called Joeys, but a baby wombat and a baby kangaroo. Joeys.
Oh.
And we all went camping as a family camping trip. And so there's little me in a pouch in front of my parents, and little Joey and Wombat in the pouch of my aunt. And so we all just hung out together. Like, I was a 6-month-old and they were baby animals, and we'd all just hang out. And so they put us on the grass and we'd just all womble around. And there's photos of us being passed over a creek together. Like, each adult was on a stepping stone, and they'd all passed a child across the river. Yeah, so that was a good thing. So I grew up with her Australian animals, basically.
That's super cool.
Yeah.
That's super
love it.
cool.
That counts as exotic.
So Rocket and Wilberforce, the kangaroo and wombat.
Definitely exotic for us. So that
Yeah.
counts.
Yeah.
What about you, Jason?
Probably emu.
So
Okay.
not exotic for me, but for you.
Yeah. Well, like, sorry. Well, here, Nyree, I literally live with a bunch of raccoons, so I could tell you it's not awesome. Last night, like at 4 a.m, a raccoon decided to like, I guess fight. I guess a raccoon found out that his wife was getting it on with somebody else, and they were having a literal fight, with screaming and punching in my bathroom. These little raccoons just fighting like nobody's business. I don't know what was happening. It was crazy. Like, I almost had a heart attack. And
In your
That's what I heard
bathroom.
above him.
They're in between
above
the
your
walls. They're in between the walls of my bathroom.
Oh,
I remember when
wow.
I first
That
moved
happens
into
with
this.
possums with us, yeah.
When I first moved into this apartment, I remember one day I was just in the bathroom, and I just heard a little slow knocking. And I was just like, what is going on? And for the longest time, I was pretty sure our house was haunted. But it was just raccoons that live here.
Oh my gosh,
And now
that's amazing.
I hear them all the time. So, but yeah, emu, I've gone to a few. My family once raised some, but then also I've been to oh, here you go. Here's a better one. I had a me and my family actually had a bunny farm, and we had all California bunnies with the pink eyes, and we had tons of those. We had we had over hundreds of rabbits that I showed
Oh my
4-H as a kid. Now, we did have a frozen time where we had a lot of baby sickles, which was not awesome. But
Nice.
yeah, I guess for you, see, I got to come up with an exotic pet for you. So my exotic pet for you is white rabbits with pink eyes.
Cute.
Okay. I will say I have caught, and I don't want to say this is the most exotic, but this is what comes to mind, is a lionfish. And they are actually an invasive species to Florida and the coast right now.
Wow.
And they basically will eat anything smaller than them. So they say kill them on sight. I mean, if you see them in the water, you catch it on accident. If it's near you, you're supposed to kill it. They are poisonous to humans. They have spines on their backs. But I caught one with a net, and it was like this big maybe. I started a whole ecosystem in a bucket. I had like a live coral rock and a baby lionfish, and I found a octopus, like super tiny. I somehow managed to catch him, and I put him in the thing too. But yeah, I let them all go. They were totally fine. But it was one of the coolest experiences ever. I love like Florida. I love the beach. And I think, yeah, a lot of exotic animals inside our oceans, and we know this much about our oceans. We know more about the surface of the moon.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really, really cool.
It's
But
very
I mean,
interesting, though.
yeah, I've been obviously to many zoos, so who knows? I mean, how many? I love kookaburras. so they're probably super annoying in Australia.
No, I love them. I love them.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, love hearing kookaburras and magpies around. Yeah.
That would be the coolest thing ever
Yeah.
to hear of like a wild one anyway. So, but yeah,
It's
so
nice.
that's the end of our segment. Jason, we should probably keep it rolling.
Well, this is the time of the show, Nyree, where I'm gonna actually make up a song using all the things that we talked about, or whatever you want me the song to be about. I'll make that up too. So, what do you want our song to be about tonight?
Easy for him to say.
I'm quite happy if you make up a song about what we've talked about. So include ferrets in it. That would be great.
It's probably going to be mainly about ferrets, and then I'll probably add in other stuff. Yes.
Rescue animals, exotic pets, running after your goals. What else?
I got it. It's going to be great, Trey.
Phenomenal. All right. So, Nyree, do you have a stage name you would like for us to use? Or do you have like a nickname that you used to go by? Or
no, it's just Nyree.
Okay.
No, I don't have a stage name. No.
Would you like a stage name?
Oh, not particularly.
That's totally fine.
Right.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. That makes it easier for us. Jason, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Dope, sick, nasty. All right. Let's get it popping.
Yo, 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 this is DJ Sound Effects, Nyree, and Scout the Psalmist on the mic. Let's get it.
Babies, yeah, ferret, babies, ferret, babies, ferret, babies, yeah. Now here's a little story that I don't understand. If I made it for whoever I'm feeling the plan. You made it all this time and made it all where? And Nyree's just chilling in Australia there. She has 185 ferrets looking so crazy they could never even marry it. Now we don't know what they do. Everything is ferret proof. They're not in a zoo, but they got a coop. And it's so cool. In their backyard, they're like, oh, that's moo. And only if I move, because it's slow to move. You gotta go slow. If you didn't know what you know, you don't know. And yeah, you gotta keep that refrigerator closed and that microwave doors. Always keep that closed. And the oven, well, you gotta keep that closed or you're gonna have some ferret. That's not good. Oh no. And only if you can't say that it be. So many crazy things happening, yes sirree. And every single day that your house is looking like Swiss cheese and you're like, oh, I see why. Is my bed like that again? This is the fourth bed I had this week, my friend. I don't get what you're doing, Mr. Ferret, bro. But now I'm gonna dissect you all. Let it know. Oh no. What does that mean? I can't go. I explode, expand, I'm feeling it. Oh, I'm glad you didn't learn that later in the way. You're like, oh, guys, y'all are great. Have fun and play. No, I don't like you because you're stinky. Now to sex you all. I mean, spray and muter, and you feel the fall. Not gonna break it if it's C. I'm glad you're a nice ferret mommy. Ha. This is a ferret baby song. A ferret baby. Ferret baby. Ferret baby. Ferret baby, ah, ferret baby, ah, ferret baby, ah. But you know one thing about the ferrets be is that they grow on your heartstrings. You be like, eh. After I had a ferret, I never go back. I will always have them as my pets, forever attack. Yeah, you might have that cat lady, not me. I'll be hanging out with those ferrets, yes sirree. Chilling in Australia like it can't ever go. And I know that sometimes I gotta say what I know. I even did a whole podcast. Hopefully, I get to interview with my ferret babies, and yes siree. And they be saying how cool that I am. If I never see what I'm doing, I'm feeling plan. Now it's all together, but that's the coolest thing that people really try to mess with the bee, but you're taking those things and saving them, giving them a better life so they understand again. That's cool. And ferrets are awesome and they see because they're always trying to chase me in my backyard. Gee, I don't even know what they're doing now. If I could ever tear it up and I would tear it down. I said ferret babies, guess my song's done. That's all I had to say, my son. And y'all are amazing if I can never be. I got raccoons fighting all my ferret babies. How was that?
That is amazing.
You still got your voice mod on, man.
Oh, sorry. Did I do that last rap with the magic chords?
Yes.
Oh man, that sucks.
It sounded fine.
Oh, okay.
I liked it.
Sorry.
That was
Sorry,
fantastic.
Well, we hope you enjoyed that, Nyree. This was all
so good.
not pre-planned. It was all completely here freestyle. So
Obviously, yes, because it's about what I talked about. Yeah, so good.
Well, it is also, you were having so much fun. It's like, oh yeah, no, I definitely could talk about that. Also, one of my favorite albums is this. We had him on the show a few episodes ago. His name's Speech, and in his episode, in his thing, they actually have it where like half the skits are about this lady and her ferret babies. And she's always like, oh, my ferret babies, where are my ferret babies? And she's like, yeah, everybody was great except for Charles. When we found out we had him as a dip, it was like,
oh no.
But that's a thing, like, because they're anywhere, you never know what's going to happen. And so it's like, oh, that's terrible. So, but every time you talk about it, I think of those. There were other funnier parts, but that was the one I always remember. So, ferrets. My sister had parrots too with her sugar gliders, and
Nice.
so cool. So I definitely don't want pets. I am against them. And here's the thing: I'm a big guy. I would squish some ferrets.
Oh no!
Those dudes trying to mess with me.
I feel like they get into fights with Boston all the time.
Oh yeah, I feel like that would happen.
Probably.
I would imagine Peyton would try to ride one. Be like, "Yo, let's go." But anyways,
all right, Nyree, we didn't give you a chance to plug your show, but now is your chance to feel free to plug anything that you want. And now is your time.
Okay. So my podcast is Stolen Our Hearts, and you can just look it up on any podcasting app, and you'll find me. And I'm also on Facebook and Instagram as Stolen Our Hearts and Stolen Our Hearts Podcast. So I'd love to have you come on over.
Awesome.
Was it so? What you've been doing for about a year now, or 2 years?
Sorry?
How long you been doing the podcast?
Only since September
Okay.
last year.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah, getting really into it.
You said you have 30 episodes?
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
That's
Yeah.
great.
Awesome.
Yeah. Once you start doing, and you're like, I'm not going to stop now. I'm just going to keep
No,
doing it.
it's a habit now. It's
Yeah.
not going to change.
Yeah, no, I understand. We're on like 110 at this point. So
So good.
yeah, you just kind of do it. But thank you so much for being on the show, Nyree. Thank you so
It's
much,
such a
Trey,
good
for
time.
showing up. Thank you, everybody, for listening. If you want to go check us out, go to flowshoe.com. You can check out all of our awesome stuff. You can even check out our new party thing where you can actually have me and Trey for your birthday parties or for your festivals, wherever you want us. We can show up and do it mainly virtually, Trey. But if you're in Texas or if you're in Kentucky, we can come do some actual stuff for you. So go check us out at flowshoe.com. If you're looking to make a new website, go to nomadweb.design, an awesome place to get your website built. They built ours. And again, make sure if you're listening to the podcast as a podcast, come over on Monday nights on YouTube at Flows For You, and come watch us live at 8 p.m. CST. We would love to have you in the comment section, mainly so Jaime isn't on every single comment. And and Trey, is there anything else I'm forgetting?
No, if you guys have any of your questions today, we need them because we would love to have our questions based from our audience. Yeah, so throw them our way. Go over to flowsforyou.com. You can message us separately and personally through our website. And if you guys, again, want to come on the show, feel free to hit us up through there as well.
Yeah, and we really appreciate it. Again, we love talking to people. We love having all the amazing people on it, and it's pretty cool. And I'm stalling because I'm trying to find something out. Yep. So next week we're actually having Eric Dean, who does the Finding the Weird podcast, where he finds
He's
weird
great.
hobbies. Yeah. And so
I talked to him too.
Oh, there you
wow.
go. So
I was on his. Yeah.
oh yeah. Well, yours would make a lot of sense why you would be on his show. That makes a lot of sense. Because it's a fun. It's a funny. Sometimes when your hobbies become your lifestyle, so that's kind of cool. It's like you did this thing, you didn't know it was going to change. It was going to be your life, but that's pretty awesome. With the
Good night, Jaime.
He is so good. So,
But
listen to
yeah,
that
so
for
we're
sure.
excited to have him on the show. Next week we'll be talking D&D and talking about all the stuff that he likes and his
cool.
podcast, and so that should be really cool. And now, Nyree, we have a new bit that we're working on. So it's still working. What?
Okay.
Nope. You're going to give me 3 words,
Oh, okay,
and
my bad.
I'm basically going to do a little freestyle, and this is our outro.
Okay.
And it can be anything. It can be nothing about what we talked about. It can be everything about what we talked about. But it's going to be 3 words, and I'm going to run completely off of that.
Gosh, don't put any pressure on me or anything.
No, you can, I mean, it can be anything. No pressure.
Right, ferret.
Yep.
Rescue and fun.
Perfect. That's phenomenal. That's all I need. All right, this is our outro. Feel free to stick around afterwards if you have to leave. We understand, but this is our outro for the show, and it's going to be loading here in a second. It's taking its sweet time.
Yeah. And he's talking to you, Nyree, so stick around for a second to talk to us. Not just the random fans. If you want to talk to us, you know how to get hold of us.
Let's get it. Nyree, you've been phenomenal. Thank you so much for coming on the show. I have mad respect for Australia. Steve Irwin was my guy. Rest in peace. And I really appreciate what you do for animals. Your podcast is rocking. Keep it up. Let's get it, let's go. We talked about ferrets, yo. They're furry little creatures that like mischief, yo. They get into your pantry, they get into your bathroom, they get inside your couch and make it like Swiss cheese. Yeah, baby. They got a little bit of a smell, but not to worry. Don't make a big fuss, yo. Get a whole bunch, but treat them right. Put them in your house, but don't put up a fight with the ferrets. They'll beat you up, put you in the ground. Just kidding, they're friendly and they're kinda round. They got the squiggly wigglies like little worms. They can fit into nooks and crannies, kinda like germs. Oh yeah, ferrets are awesome. Nyree rescued them. She is awesome friend. She's an awesome friend. Let's keep on having fun talking about ferrets, yo. But this is Flows for You. This is our freaking show. Flows for you, man. This is what we do. Jason, take us home. We got it. Let's go, dude.
Thank you so much, guys, for being on the show. Thank you for spending time with us. We hope to see you next week. And as for always, may the flows be with you. I decided to do that for the first time. Sounded cool. And bye. I gotta press the end button. I forgot.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Trey. I was supposed to.
Ferrets, yeah.
Yeah, I'm still not there.
Ferrets. I'm saying ferrets. Ferrets are Pokemon.
What is going on with you, dude? Ferrets?
Are you looking for a different kind of podcast? How about informative and clean? It will make you laugh. Scout and Trey, yeah, that's what we do. We got a little funny thing, keeping it true. Hey, we take your topics and all your ideas and bring in a guest and we answer them there. Then we make a freestyle rap and do it for you. Yeah, that's what we do. Yeah, that's what we do. Yep, flows for you, flows for you. This is what we do now. This is what we do. Say it flows for you, flows for you. This is what we do now. This is what we do. Say it flows for you, flows for you. This is what we do now. This is what we do. Say it flows.